through a reassessment in 40 years, so it's a little more challenging, even so, to keep it all balanced and fair in the Scranton area. However, the notice that I received is not quite as large as some of the others. In fact, mine is kind of in line with, to be quite honest, what I kind of expected it to go up if it was appealed. However, my property was purchased, the first property was purchased 3 years ago. And so my question to the group, and I think a lot of us here bring the same question, is how is it that we are looking back 3 years and using a current number to be able to use to figure out an assessment? It seems that the look back of 3 years seems to be somewhat random, and I'm not sure if there's a legality or if the state allows that look back of 3 years or further back. I'd like some explanation as far as how that came about, if you can. Also, just to be fair, going forward, that it's done on a consistent basis rather than ad hoc. It's our understanding that there is a significant loophole or budget gap that you're trying to fill, and this is one of the ways in which you might be trying to fill that. However, it seems that there might be a little bit more fair way to do it, since it has not been a consistent practice that has been done by this board over the last number of years. So again, I just have a number of questions. Actually, all of us have a number of questions. If you don't mind, if we can take some time out of the agenda to try to answer some, we would appreciate that. Give us some understanding of how the process has come to be currently, and also as the meetings get underway for tomorrow, actually, hence the reason we're all here so quickly. We have some understanding of how to approach the meeting and what could be our best method as homeowners and also as business owners in the community to be able to address it. I want to reiterate my own personal thanks for all the members of the board. My father was a member of the school board at Valley View in the Scranton area for 25 years, 26 years. So I know how challenging it is to sit in that seat with an audience like this. So thank you. I appreciate your time, and I certainly appreciate your efforts to try and answer our questions.
C-H-R-I-S-T-M-A-N. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and distinguished guests, thank you so much for coming and for your support as well. So myself and my husband, Ryan, we own 2 vacation rentals on Broadway, 324 and 171 West Broadway. One was purchased in June of 2015, the other in April of 2017. One was purchased for $175,000 with a formal appraisal for the same amount. School taxes for that property are just over $2,000 and expected to more than double to $4,700. 171 West Broadway was purchased for $132,000 without a formal appraisal. Taxes for that property are currently a little over $2,000, and those are expected to triple to over $6,000. Currently, these rentals are my source of income. If the taxes increase as proposed, I will be forced to sell both properties and no longer be in business of hosting tours of our town. This would also mean that Carbon County will not get a percentage of my rentals and therefore lose out on valuable marketing dollars that will continue to bring people to Jim Thorpe and the area. My husband and I borrowed against our primary residence in Lehighton because we believed in the future Jim Thorpe, and the ability for town and surrounding areas to grow exponentially because of the tourism industry. Also, as the president of the Jim Thorpe Tourism Agency, I can see the immediate downward spiral and how this will affect town. I see that we could quickly become the depressed town that we once were in the 1950s. Plus, no one will be able to sell their homes, and there won't be any tax revenue. I truly plead with you this evening to consider an alternative tax structure to reach similar goals. Thank you very much for your time.
Hello, thank you for your time. My name is Mitch Hansen. I purchased property at 60 Broadway, H-A-N-S-O-N. I'll just get right to the point. My current taxes are $3,715. under the new tax reassessment, it would raise to $11,800.
What?
We moved here a little over 2 years ago. We cashed out everything we had to buy our property. We moved across country, packed up our family, put together a business plan that you count for small tax increases. It just happens. You know, the 1%, the 2%. We wanted to invest in Jim Thorpe. We love this place. We want to be here for the next 20 years. Not with a 320% increase in our first year of business. I look at anyone in this room, and I challenge you, can you raise your hand if you can stay in business with a 320% tax increase? This would basically force us to close our doors, sell our house. No one's going to buy it. We don't want to leave. This would force our hand. I'm just asking, please put together a different plan, something that might be a little more fair. This just came as a huge surprise. Maybe I should have done a little more research as to how quickly this could happen and how much, but anyway, I just want to ask, what would you do in my shoes? Thank you for your time.
Good evening. My name is Cass Cheds, and it's C-H-I-E-S. I am a local broker-owner in Palmerton, and currently this year I am the president for the GLBR Association of Realtors. And I am here tonight with actually Paulette Smith on behalf of Pocono Mountain also. These stories are gut-wrenching. They really are. And before I start, I just have a question. I was actually talking with the news reporter today from Times News. And after I talked with him, I just had a question. If anybody on the board here, are you planning on buying and selling soon? A home? It's just a question, because if you are in Jim Thorpe, you're going to be faced with the same issue. And if you're not, that's great. But if you are, you got to look at what you're doing. So I just want to really begin by personally thanking everyone here tonight. This is overwhelming to voice your concerns, and it shows how much you love your community. Really, we applaud you all. To voice your concerns on Jim Thorpe School District's practice of reassessing school taxes after the sale of a property. As we all know, Panther Valley, Jim Thorpe, and Tamaqua school districts have been reassessing property shortly after they closed, using the sales price to raise a total assessment, resulting in increasing the school taxes for that property. And we're not talking a few $100s, but thousands. If you look at the samples that I showed, that I gave you, and this is why I think if you look at it black and white and red, this is not $100 a month. Some of these are, I think the highest that I calculated out was probably 800, some 1,000 a month. And again, I think it's probably easier sometimes just to put on homeowners, but again, it just cannot be done. For some residents in the smaller communities, when divided, their monthly tax payments are more than their monthly mortgage payment. The fear of increasing property taxes has not only crippled interest in sales in these areas, but also has impacted the true values of homes we list, while it also affects their neighbors and other homes in these surrounding communities. As homeowners, we spend our years loving, caring, updating, maintaining our homes to protect their real estate investment. For many of us, and these people here tonight, it's their retirement nest egg. It's not a home, but it's their nest egg. For many of our sellers whose homes are located in these school districts, their options are very limited. They can't afford to choose to list at a price they need and hope for an offer, but they must sacrifice listing and accepting and offer much less and below a reasonable current value just so they can sell their home to move on. If they're lucky, they can get a cash buyer that comes along, and then we can maybe restructure something to avoid the real hit of the reassessment after the sale. You guys were so excited about when the Pennsylvania Turnpike, when 903 exit, provides an easy access for commuters from New York, New Jersey, Philadelphia to come to the Poconos. But because of the reassessments in these Pocono communities, they still have not rebounded from the mortgage meltdown of 2008. While reassessing is not a current practice in Lehigh and Palmer school districts, they have continued to slowly raise millage and funds for their projects. For our clients, whether it is the elderly neighbor who is struggling to pay their taxes so they can stay in their home, or if it's a first-time home buyer who realizes the dream of home ownership is out of their reach due to the ever-increasing taxes. Property elimination is our #1 priority, and we continue to work with our state legislator, county commissioners, and school board members to gain a grip on bloated budgets that impact all taxpayers. This issue impacts all homeowners, future buyers, and sellers, and it's a huge infringement on private property rights. No tax should ever have the power to leave someone homeless or take away the American dream of home ownership away from anyone. The Legislative Committee will be discussing in Harrisburg tomorrow HB 1213, which would eliminate this practice of school districts to file spot appeals of property tax assessment of individual properties. I only hope that they can get the vote to get this done. It may take some time for Senate Bill 76 to be revamped and represented, but it's time for Carbon, and it could be time for a Carbon County reassessment. But there needs to be a solution, and we are here to ask you to let us help you. We would love to sit down with you and just maybe we could work something out, but there's got to be a better way than this. Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Dan Bierdak, and over 2 years ago, my partner and I purchased a property on Stone Row, so one of the 16 Stone Row buildings on Ray Street we purchased. And I bring up Stone Row in particular, also let me give you a little context. I'm a former councilman from the state of New Jersey. I was liaison to public and private schools. I've sat on the zoning and planning boards as well as the chair of the Historic Preservation Commission. And I brought up Stone Row because we're fascinated by the history of this town. We purchased here, I've been coming here since I was 2. I'm sort of Appalachian boy makes good and comes back home. So I'm glad to come back home. And when we talk about Stone Row was built in 1849. And I'm going to read to you the current assessed values. 36,000, 34,000, 24,000, 36,000, 30,000, 23,000, 33,000, 35,000, 39,000, 31,000. These properties are mirror images of each other. So it's 8 and 8. They're identical. Inside, they're identical square footage. You want to move mine to 60,000. So you want to double mine compared to everybody else's. And we are completely comfortable paying our fair share. But I need you to explain to me how that is fair on any level. And, you know, we love this community. We're coming back to this community. But I'm troubled by what message this sends to a community. This is no longer about taxes. This is about equity. This is about the banner that I see when I drive down that hill that says, we are in Jimport, Pennsylvania. We believe in that bohemian, equitable culture that we all love here. This is counterculture to who we are as a people. And I would just ask you to consider that this affects people's lives. It's less about dollars and cents, and it's really about people's lives. So please, consider this tonight, and we would like to hear an open discussion about it. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hello. Thank you very much for your comments and for your attendance. I'm going to hand the microphone over to our solicitor to explain the process. But we We do really appreciate your comments. We also are taxpayers here. I pay approximately $9,000 on one house, and I pay almost $3,000 on a second house here, so I know what it is to pay taxes here. And our solicitor's going to explain to you the process. We do not establish those rates, by the way, but he'll explain to you the process.
But wait, may I ask a question first? When my husband and I received the letter, and I contacted Carbon County, they made it very clear that it was not Carbon County that was promoting this. It was the Jim Thorpe School District.
And you are correct. And let me first start off by saying I commiserate with every one of you, because you can attend my tax assessment appeal on the 20th of June at 11:50 in the morning, when my taxes were immediately doubled. So I'm in the same boat you are. And among people on this board, I can commiserate with you very much so tonight.
Wait,
Okay?
who came up with this idea?
Well, let's just hold on a second, okay? First of all, the school board, school district, is not engaged in spot assessment. Okay, it doesn't happen. If you will finish, I've given you a chance to speak. If I'm interrupted again, I will stop. But I will be happy to explain things to you. It's the difference this evening between listening and hearing. Under section 8855 of the tax assessment law, a taxing district shall have the right to appeal any assessment within the jurisdiction. And we have done so only based upon the prices that were recorded by the Recorder of Deeds office and the tax assessor's office. Once a month, I'm given a printout of those things. And for years, this district did not file tax assessment appeals. Unlike Hyden, unlike Panther Valley, we did not do it. We've gone about 5 years without doing it. However, this district has defended itself over the period of the last 3 years 229 times, where your fellow taxpayers have sought to have their taxes reduced. And in almost every single occasion, they have succeeded. Now, how did they do that? Because either they came in with a certified appraisal, or they came in with a deed itself showing that of what they paid, comparing that purchase price with what the county determined your property was worth. The school board does not determine what your property is worth. That's done in an arm's length transaction. For example, Mr. Rivkin purchased his property for $240,000, but he's only paying tax on a property worth $114,000. Mr. Dower purchased his property for $130,000, and he's only paying tax of a property worth $55,128.
So where is
Ms. Chrisman purchased a property for $175,000, and she's only paying taxes on a property worth $30,900. Mr. Hanson purchased his property at $345,500, and the county, not the school district, determined that the property was worth $55,155. Now, I, amongst all other people here, do not like the way we have to raise taxes, by the way that the system is funded. But there's nothing illegal about what has happened here. At the hearings that will occur, starting tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock, I'm simply going to be presenting the deeds, which I believe shows an arm's length transaction, of what your transactions were like when you purchased your property. It is competent evidence. You can present evidence saying that you paid more for your property than what was worth. You can do that, and the Board of Assessment Appeal will weigh your evidence versus the deed that I'm going to present. And that is the only evidence I'm going to present, is your deed. Now, I have received a number of phone calls, and I see two major issues developing. I say a number, I'm talking hundreds. Number one, I've learned that many people have purchased their properties without the help of a realtor or an attorney. In those instances, I'm sure that they were not advised that under the current system, the way Pennsylvania law is set up, that the school district or a municipality has every right to go in and say, listen, you paid more for your property than what the assessment shows. You could be taken in on appeal, because anyone who's competent to do so in the real estate business would tell you that. I have one of my esteemed colleagues sitting in the back of the room who, over the last number of years, has done exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to use the deed. That's what's going to happen. That's what my esteemed colleague has done. I don't want to do it because my taxes are going to go up. But the way to change the system would be to speak to your legislator. That's how to change the system. The board has no authority to change the way the taxes are computed or the way the system is set. Now, I've heard tonight that there's another solution. I've heard that said. I'd hate to hear what that solution is. Because I would like to be in on the solution. Well, and you know what? The equitable solution would be that there would be a county-wide reassessment more often than it is now. I agree. That is probably the most equitable way this can be done. Look at the way Alaska does it. We don't do that in Pennsylvania yet.
No,
because
it's not. Raise everybody's one mill.
I'm sorry.
Raise everybody one mill and it's done.
Everyone.
That's equitable. That's equitable.
Okay.
What about that?
Is it also equitable, as I pointed out, that someone is paid $240,000 for a property, but they're only paying tax on the value of
When their neighbor's property is...
So is everybody for the last 25 years.
There you go. Listen, I'm done with my presentation, okay? I'm sure that those who are to appear at their hearings, come talk to me. I've always been available to talk to people. I've worked out other arrangements with people. The board is not heartless in that respect.
You can stop this right now. No, you're lying when you say that.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
I said 2 lawyers have told me that this school board could drop what's going on right now.
And did I say anything different than that? Sure. What, did I say that?
You said you had no control over it.
No, I have no control over the way the law is applied, sir. It is correct. This board could stop it.
Then do it. Then do it.
I don't go to the board. Well, hold on, sir. When you purchased your property, I'm sure you received the advice from competent professionals that this could happen. If you didn't, shame on you.
Come on.
Okay, all right. I've been interrupted enough, and I will stop.
I'd like to say something, Mike.
Sure, come on.
I have recently...
Hold on. Ellen. Can you please stand up and introduce yourself?
The question I think that I have, Lord, is how can you substantiate...
Please give your name to the...
I'm sorry, it is... How can you substantiate to this community an increase in taxes? You only have 2,400 children that attend your 3 schools. What is going on that you cannot, that somehow or another, your budget is so overinflated that you have to increase taxes? Everyone's talking about Jim Thorpe. Lake Harmony, the taxes are being doubled. One person at the end of a townhouse, the same identical unit is paying, and it doesn't, you're paying taxes on 150, this one's paying taxes on 180, and this one's even more. It has to be fair, but you have to substantiate to the community why you need this kind of increase. Some of them, I mean, I'm one of those competent people you talk about.
No,
I tell people that.
but Alan,
They may be reassessed, but who in their wellness
Right.
imagination say 70%?
Do you understand the process of it in terms of we don't pick
I've
how...
been through your
Right.
process in 2005 when you reassessed spot assessments like that.
But we're not spot assessing. We're basically... No, we're... Hold on.
Mike.
Come forward.
Yeah, I'd love to.
And you got to introduce yourself, because she's got to get you out of here.
My name is Mark Cuesta, M-A-R-C-C-U-E-S-T-A. My wife and I purchased a second home
in the Lake Harmony area this past year. We bought one on the lake with the idea that not only would we make it into a rental property, would generate revenue for our retirement, but would also eventually become our residence. It's a 1,300 square foot house. And you are going to raise my taxes by almost $12,000 a year. Okay? I did comparables throughout all of South Lake Drive, and I found that I will by far be the largest taxpayer in the smallest house on South Lake Drive. That is not equitable. I do not have children that go to this school district at all. And yet, when you put my two properties together, I'll be paying close to $21,000 to $22,000 a year to fund your schools. So, what was that number? I'm basically funding $100 per child? Come on. I have a 5,500 square foot house in Westchester, Pennsylvania, and I pay less than both properties. And we have a school district that would crush this school district with not only the respect of the students, but the dollars paid by the citizens for that education. It's wrong, and you need to do it equitable. Thank you.
You bought a property for $485,000, or its value was $63,000, $63,900.
Make it equitable.
Okay,
I'm quite fine paying my fair share. But my 1,300 square foot house, there's a house right next to me that is 4.5 times that size, and their taxes will be significantly lower than mine. That's fun.
That is
So, enough.
Excuse me.
Yes.
I would like to say something. Do I have to go there?
Give your name. Okay, John.
First of all, my name's Johnny Chevron, for those of you who don't know me. I live up here in Orlando, and I'm a contractor, and I'm a property owner. I had 2 kids that went through the Jim Thorpe school system, which I'm proud to say. But as far as our tax system, I am disgusted. I don't think that we should take the burden to pay taxes because we're property owners. I feel like I'm being punished because I have a house. Me and my wife are making plans for our retirement. You know, we're first thing, we got to get rid of the house, rent an apartment. Can't afford taxes anymore when you get older. So I know where you're coming from. But I think what we have to do is we have to start at the top and change the way our taxes are collected. Now there's an act, I think it's Act 76, that they're talking about raising the sales tax. If they raise the sales tax, that eliminates property tax. That means everybody pays the same. I'm all for it. And I think we should check that out.
I agree with you. And in lieu of that, I would ask that you stop your proceedings here with the spot assessment, and we'll go into semantics with that later. And if you need to get more money, which is crazy that you would, then
I'm against raising taxes for this school district.
Then go ahead and make it equitable upon the whole school district or the whole county, not on a select few.
Go ahead.
My name is Linda Farrington. It's Farrington, just like Carrington on Dynasty, but with an F and no money. I'm in sales. You're not calling this a spot assessment. When we received the letter, we were told it's about 600 people, 900 residents that have gotten this letter. That's a spot assessment. I don't mind paying my fair share. My husband and I bought a home in Jim Thorpe, Bear Creek Lakes. It's our retirement home. We currently still have a home in Collegeville, really Graterford with the state prison, that's going on the market next month. I live in Perkiomen and Valley School District, which is one of the tops in the state. My taxes there are not as high as these are going to. And I don't bring a burden of students into the school district. We've raised our children, our daughters, and educate her as well. So I'm aware of school boards and things like that. What does it take tonight to stop this as far as these hearings that start tomorrow and get something on paper that is going to be a countywide assessment. I have never seen an assessment done like this by a school board ever. And I've lived in Greater Fort since I was 7 years old. And I've come to Jim Thorpe since I was 10 years old, when this town was just coming back. I'm not going to tell you how old I am. It's a lot of years. And that was one of the things we loved about Jim Thorpe, was the history. But the extra money we might have had in retirement to spend in Jim Thorpe and to go out to dinner and all the different things that are available in this area, we won't have the money for. We will be on a set income once we retire, which is coming up. My husband's retiring this year. So, again, my question is, how can we stop this now? Go back to the table, look at a countrywide assessment, which wasn't done since 1999. So it's time for that. Let everybody equally share in this. Don't just pick new people to town and put the bad taste in their mouth right away. So that's my question, and Jim Thorpe's a lovely town. That's why we chose this as our retirement home. But you know what, you can't beat up people that are retiring and people that are coming here that are adding to the economy. Thank you for your time.
I was just going to mention,
Is there any way that we could put these appeals on hold?
be up to you. And a second.
What is the motion?
Say the motion.
I'd like to make a motion to put these appeals on hold. Hold or to discontinue? One of the other. Discontinue. Back here on hold till we review everything. Because I'm not happy with what's going on. We need to go over everything before you can act.
Any discussion? Is there any discussion? Mr. Jupiter, did you have something you want to say?
Well, I will say this. Let's make a real statement. We've got $20 million in the bank. None of us pay our property tax this year. That's not what we're saying.
You have 20 million, what do you need extra money for?
Property taxes has to go.
That's ridiculous.
Mark, it doesn't mean Mark. Okay. Any other discussion? Any other discussion? Okay.
We just implore you to stop it. That's all we ask. Let's put the motion up to the side. 20 million in the bank.
Keep one thing in mind, the commissioners are the ones that will always decide whether to reassess, not the school board. You
That's not.
go after the commissioners.
Not the commissioners.
And we have to reassess their property. I say get rid of the property tax.
Everybody wants to get rid of it. We're not doing it.
The assessment.
Let's take up this motion to end it.
Hold on. Do you understand we're going to take a vote on the motion to hold off on the appeals? But you do understand that we don't set the assessment value. You know that. Okay, all right. We just set whether to appeal based on, right, okay, as long as you knew that. All right.
You're directing me to ask for continuance of this scheduled hearing.
So we're gonna ask, if the motion passes, we will ask the solicitor to ask for a continuance on the appeals until we discuss this further. Okay? Does everyone understand that?
Stop it. Let's just stop it. That's what I'd like.
The other thing is we would also have to look at other options in terms of millage. We've not raised the millage since I've been on the board. We've not raised the millage once.
Is there a second? Motion and a second. Is there a question? Motion and a second.
Call the question.
It's a motion. Yeah, public comment.
Abolish it. Abolish
I need
it.
to know what that means.
Dr. Princeton.
Yes.
Mrs. Scheffler.
Yes.
Mr. Confer. Yes. Mr. Huber. Yes. Mr. McGinley. Yes. Mr. Chivarella.
Yes.
8 ayes, 0 absent, motion passes.
All right, so we will put that on a continuance, and we'll ask for continuance tomorrow. Greg Musso will with the county.
My name is Rick Cordisco, C-O-R-D-I-S-C-O. I have a real estate company on 903. My question is for the solicitor. Around 3 or 4 years ago, when all these people were fighting their appeals to get the taxes lowered, didn't whoever's in charge change the common level ratio to tilt the scales back into the favor of the tax kitty? Because I know what happened right in the middle of a real estate transaction for me. So my point is, you question or I'm making a statement. I'm not asking. I know what happened. Okay. No, but my question is, you are bringing up that so and so is paying. People have a $340,000 house and he's paying taxes on a $60,000 house. Okay. So whoever it is that creates this common level ratio phenomenon, whenever they want more money, they can just readjust the common level ratio, correct? Okay, so theoretically, no one should have the luxury of being able to sell, say, $1 million lakefront, or no one should ever see their property values get that high because they'll never get a buyer willing to pay the Jim Thorpe School District $35,000 a year in taxes. That's what you're saying.
I don't think I answered.
Well, I think you were, really.
Well, that's your opinion. I don't know.
Okay. I think I spelled it out.
All right. We will ask for continuance tomorrow.
Can we make a motion in light of the fact that there's $20 million in the bank account?
Mark, Mark, that is not $20 million we have. Much of it is already.
He doesn't know?
No, he's wrong.
Because if he doesn't know,
He's wrong.
why is he on the board?
We're going to go on.
What you guys are doing?
We're going to go on the board.
I'd like to make a motion that we abolish this
You
process.
can't make a motion from the floor. So, thank you. We need to get on with our agenda. We are going to ask for continuance, so sorry. We will discuss this further.
What happens if continuance is not granted? Which it won't be. Here's the problem. I'm sorry, Kim Roberti. I'm not a constituent. I am a taxpayer. I'm also a lawyer. Can we have the microphone, please? That's a blue one. That's a blue one. My question was, what happens if the continuance is not granted? Here's.
Kim, I can answer the question because I was on the phone this afternoon in 2 cases where people asked for continuance. Well, I'll answer your question, okay? Give me the mic.
And I'll make my point then. The question that Attorney Roberti brought up is, what if the continuance isn't granted? Because I've now been directed by my board to ask for continuances. Tomorrow there's about 15 hearings. On Wednesday there's hearings, and on Thursdays there's hearings. Now, I was told today by the tax claim office that other parties can ask for continuances, but I've got to approve their continuances. And if I say it's okay, the hearings will not be held during this hearing season. It will be placed upon the hearing list for the fall. At that point, the new common level ratio will be applied, okay? But if I were to ask for a continuance, they would grant my request. I was told that this afternoon. Because Attorney Rosales called me this afternoon about one of his clients, and I had a lady who was leaving the United States to go to Mexico, and she'd be gone for about 3 weeks, and she asked for a continuance. So we're going to resolve those matters.
I was told I could ask for continuance.
All right.
Yeah, well, that's what you were told, because nobody talked to me, because you had to ask me. If you would ask me, then it goes, and because I'm the party who's the moving party in this case, okay? Okay, and like all other legal matters, you gotta work with both sides. You're one side, and I'm the other side. So when people were talking to me, that was my position, and they cleared it up this afternoon.
But you were talking about moving 2 hearings. From what I understand, there's 600. Is that a correct round number?
You're a little bit low.
Okay. I'm a little bit low, so there's over 600. It's different from moving 2 hearings versus moving 600 hearings. And the assessment office has the discretion to turn that down. And ultimately, I guess the question then becomes, continue them to what end? Is it just a matter of push them off and then have the hearings in the fall? That doesn't solve the problem.
That's a more important question.
All the continuance does is kick the can down the road to no solution.
Basically, you asked when you first proposed your motion that we discuss it, so we will be scheduling a committee meeting to discuss this.
I will say this, if I could right now, I would abolish it, but I don't know what the outcome's going to be if we do that. If we go with the continuance and we find out that we can straighten this mess out, then I'm fine. If I find out it's not, then I'll make a motion to abolish it. But I can't do that without knowing what the repercussions are going to be.
And Dr. McGinn, we have 2 committee meetings coming up on Monday. Would you like to have another committee meeting on it?
Yes.
Okay, we'll be discussing this in a committee meeting on Monday to go over the repercussions of this.
Make sure that nobody's taxes are going to go up to $12,000.
Yeah.
That's
Thank you.
That's,
Thank you.
I'm sorry, we really need to go on, we need to go on with our agenda, so, well, we're going to hold off, we're going to discuss it. Can you come to the committee meeting on Monday?
We'll be here.
We have a committee meeting on Monday, we'll discuss this.
Here?
No, it'll be at the district office. It'll be at the district office at 6 o'clock on Monday the 15th. We're going to have 3 committee meetings now. One will be on finance, and we'll discuss this.
Is that an open meeting, Mike?
Okay, excuse me?
Is that an open
It's an open meeting.
Great.
Committee meetings are open.
Love to do that.
You know what, I think if we're gonna have, how many people would like to come to the committee meeting on Monday?
Yeah.
All right, well, we're gonna change it from the district office.
Take care.
We don't want you all sitting on each other's laps. We're gonna go to the high school, and the high school will have seats for everybody in the auditorium. So we'll do that then.
What
Okay?
high school? What's the address?
All right, we're going to go on with our agenda. Thank you very much for your comments. We have a consent agenda first. Oh, I will say we had an executive, let me ask you please, quiet. We had an executive session.